Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to learn about cybersecurity policy and domains of cybersecurity policy. This is the last point of this chapter. So here, first we will check what is cybersecurity policy and what are the domains of cybersecurity policy. The cybersecurity policy defines a requirement of security. This policy will define requirement of security that apply to the information assets of an entire organization. So one policy document will be there. According to that document, organization has to implement their information asset security. The primary objective of cybersecurity policy. What is the primary objective? First is manage the risk of compromise or security exposure of an organizational asset. Here for this organizational asset, we have to manage the risk. What could be a risk if your organizational asset is compromised? That risk we have to manage, or we have to manage this security exposure. If your asset is exposed, then what could be a risk? That part management will be the first objective of cybersecurity policy. The second objective is designate responsibilities for the protection of an organization's information. In that policy document only we have to designate the responsibility. Who is responsible to which asset security. If there is one IPS, then who is the responsible for that IPS asset? That responsibility we have to set in this document only. If particular data is there, who is the owner of that data? That person will be responsible of that security. Third is optimize the integrity and reliability of an organizational information asset. This is the third objective. We have to optimize the integrity and reliability of organization's information asset. While data is also one asset, so while transit, that data should not change. We have to think the integrity of that data, as well as whether that data is reliable or not. Can we believe on that data? That part is also comes under objective of cybersecurity policy. That part we have to mention under this. We have to maintain the integrity and reliability of organization information asset. Then reduce the opportunity for the introduction of errors. So here we have to think about the vulnerabilities. So if you know vulnerabilities in advance, you will reduce the opportunity for the introduction of errors. So this is your next objective, cybersecurity policy objective. So in this policy only you have written all the controls. So if all the controls are implemented, means you are reducing the opportunities for the introduction of errors in information assets supporting organizations business processes. So these are the assets which are supporting organizational business processes. If these assets are compromised, then you can lose your data, you can lose your reputation also. Whatever vulnerabilities of that asset, if you have already fixed that vulnerabilities, then means you are reducing the opportunities for the introduction of error. Then promote and increase the awareness of information security at organization. This is also one more important policy. Cybersecurity policy, we have to create awareness. If you are aware about something, you will take care of that. So that's why every time this promotion and awareness is important for information security. If your employee is aware about your company's assets, which asset is critical, which is not critical, means that is awareness. This is a critical asset. You should not touch to this asset. That is called as awareness. So that awareness we have to give each and every time. If employee is aware about their asset, then there could be less errors. There could be less possibility of cyber attack. If you know this, you don't have to disclose your password, means you are aware about that. You don't have to give your password to anybody else. That is called as awareness. So every time organization has to think about awareness of information security to the employee. So these are the primary objective of cybersecurity policy. Why we need cybersecurity policy? This is the document. Every organization has this document. So what that document will contain, that is mentioned here. What are the objectives? On the basis of that objectives, we will think that what will be the content of that document. So every controls will be there in that document, in this policy document. What controls we are going to apply, where we have to apply that, who is responsible for that. So everything is mentioned under this cybersecurity policy. Understood this point? Objectives of cybersecurity policy.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we will see second point, that is the domains of cybersecurity policy. So according to the Certified Information System Security Professional, CISSP, this is a certification. You can do certification in this. If you want to do if you want to go into cybersecurity, then you can do this certification, CISSP. I have also done one certification, that is CISA, Certified Information System Auditor. That also comes under this domain, cybersecurity. So if you are thinking to go into cybersecurity domain, then you can do CISA, that is Certified Information System Audit, or CISA, CISSP, that is Certified Information System Security Professional. You can give exam of this certification online. So this is the this certification will contain 8 security models. This domain of cybersecurity policy, I have taken these points, 8 security models of CISSP. What is the first model? Security and risk management. What this module will contain? Security and risk management domain provides complete overview of the things regarding information security, information system management. How we are going to manage the system management in a such a way that we have to reduce the risk. So that part will cover under this module. Security and risk management domain provides complete overview of the things regarding information systems management. Then security and risk management is the continuous process to identify threats and implementing policies to deal with them. So that part also cover under this chapter only. We have to continuously monitor our system to identify threats and implement policies, means on the basis of this, if new threat is coming, we have to change our policy. On the basis of new threat, we have to change our policy, we have to implement that policy. Policy document will change as per the requirement. So on the basis of that, we have to deal with them. Then risk is a natural in every decision of information security. And so risk management help in each decision to be effective. This is a natural thing. Risk. We cannot say that we are 100% secure. A risk is always there. If you are thinking about new business, a risk will be there. So risk management, we have to think about risk management, then how we can manage that risk. If that risk will arise, how we can manage that risk, that we have to think. And if you are already prepared for that risk, then there will be no worry. You will handle that effectively. That's why risk management is important. Major component of this domain are security of information within the organization. CIA tried confidentiality, integrity, availability, principles of security governance, requirement of business continuity. These are the major component of this domain. You will learn about this domain under this security and risk management. So here, inside this domains of cybersecurity policy, first your domain is security and risk management. Here you will think about the security of security of information system of your organization. Then what are the risk and how you can manage that risk, that you will think here in this domain. Understood this domain, security and risk management? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now second domain is asset security. Asset, what is asset? Can you tell me? Asset. Asset means what? Asset security. We have to do asset security. Now you are cyber security expert and you have to do this asset security. What is asset security? To what part you are going to secure? Yes. Asset means what?
Uh,
Example. You can give example also. This is a asset of organization.
Computers are assets of organization.
Yes. Computer system. These are asset. Then employee also one asset. Then facilities, what facilities they are providing. And data is important asset. Information of that organization. That is important asset. So everywhere we have to provide security for that asset. Asset security domain deals with the physical requirement to secure information. What security we can provide to information, to this particular information? What are the physical requirements? So this domain will deal with that. Asset security covers all part which are important to the organization, such as employees, equipments, facilities, partners, and information. So all these part will cover under this asset security. Major focus of this domain is data management, longevity and use, data standards, appropriate retention, data security controls, etc. So here organization, particular organization has their own assets. They have to secure their assets. That also comes under the in this domains of cybersecurity policy. Third is security architecture and engineering. This is third domain, security architecture and engineer. What it will contain? This domain provides concepts, structures, standards, principles which are used to plan, apply, examine, and protect operating system, applications, network, and equipment. So, engineering part will be there, all planning, how we are going to apply that, how we are going to examine, how we are going to protect. To whom? Operating system, application, network, equipment. So, all these are assets, and for these assets how we are going to do all these things, that will cover under this domain, security architecture and engineering. This domain deals with the basic idea of security models, vulnerability assessment in system, cryptography, design and implementation of physical security. So under this domain you will learn about what is security model, what is vulnerability assessment, what is cryptography, how to design and implement physical security. So these concepts will cover under this module, security architecture and engineering. Then communication and network security. Fourth module or fourth domain of cybersecurity policies, communication and network security. Communication and network security domain deals with design and protection of network, because we are going to communicate. What is the network of an organization? We have to design that network first and then protect it. The reach of communication and network technology is expanding fastly because of this internet. Virtual conferencing, remote working, and online payment demands constant, trustworthy, and secure channel for communication. For this purpose, we need constant, trustworthy, and secure channel. So all these points comes under here. We have to design and protect our network in such a way that We will get constant, trustworthy, and secure channel. Eavesdropping of network and unstable internet connection are common cyber attacks with which reflect to damage of both individual as well as institution. So because of these reason, these attack could damage individual as well as institution. This domain includes secure network architecture design principles, secure component of network, and secure channel for communication. So here design part will be there, how we can design our security, network security architecture. That part will cover under this domain, communication and network security. Then next domain, domain number 5 is identity and access management. So here username password identity is there, means username password is there. How we can identify that particular person? If digital thing is there, user ID password will be there. Plus one OTP is now OTP is there. So particular person will get that OTP, means particular means only authorized person will get that OTP. And they can access the system. So identity and access management domain deals with how to control the ways user can access data. How to control the ways user can access the data means who are authorized to access particular system, only that person can get that data. Here we are controlling the access. Okay, access is given to all. Then which menus are available to whom, which menus are available to whom. That also way to control how user can access the data. So that management comes under this identity and access management. It includes processes, people, technology, essential to give protected and auditable access to applications and systems. So everything will cover under this. What are the processes? Who are the people? Which technology essential for this particular organization? Everything we have to protect. And while protection, with the protection, we have to audit that system. We have to audit the access of that particular system to check the intrusion. Then core services of this domain includes identity administration, access certification, role-based access control, access management, password management, privileged user management, identity and access management governance. So all these points will cover under this domain, identity and access management. So everything is means here you have to think about only authorized person can access your information or access your critical assets. So that part will cover under this identity and access management. Next is security assessment and testing. So security assessment and testing domain deals with the design, performance and analysis of security testing. So already you have designed your system. Here you will check the performance of that system and you will analyze it. Design part is already available. You will assess that whether it is working properly or not. You will test it here. This domain provides a holistic view of organization's security tools and its effectiveness. So holistic view you will get about your organization's security, what tools they are using and how effective these tools are or your organization's security. That view you will get from this domain. It is further divided into two subcategories: access control test and security assessment. So access control test contains various processes and methods which assess how strong an access control system and rule work of an organization. You have your access control system for your organization. Here you will check whether it is strong or not. If it is strong, how much it is strong. That you will get from this access control test. And what are the rules you have applied on that system? Are that rules are working properly or not? That test is going to cover under this access control test. It includes penetration testing, vulnerability scanning, and security audit. So, access control test contains penetration testing, vulnerability scanning, and security audit. Then, security assessment part is there. Second category of this module. It is a holistic approach to evaluate the performance of access control methods in place. Which methods we have used?
मैम
Here you will check the yes.
सॉरी मैम डिस्टर्ब कर रहा हूँ मैम जहीर वो आस्किंग टू जॉइन पे है ज्वाइन नहीं हो पा रहा है
हो गया ज्वाइन हो गया
नहीं मैम देख तो नहीं रहा है एक मिनट
So here we are checking this domain security assessment and testing, and it is further divided into two subcategories. We have already seen this access control test, and next is security assessment. Here this is a holistic approach to evaluate the performance of access control method. There are various method in place. Which method particular organization using, that method is going to evaluate performance of that method is going to evaluate here. So that comes under security assessment. Then next module or domain is security operation. Security operation domain deals with the way policies are put in action. Here this domain operations are there. So here we are going to deal with the way policies are put in action. Policies means your document is there. Now how that document things are going to implement, how that policies are in the how they that policies are put in action, that part will cover here in the security operations. This domain is concerned with daily access and protection of system resources. So here under this operation part is there. So what we are doing on daily basis, how daily access is going, how daily protection is going on particular resources, everything will covered under the domain. Security Operations Center framework must be in place with proper policies, procedures, guidelines, and standard for the key and support services of an organization. So this framework will be there. This will contain everything properly, that is policies, procedure, guidelines, and standard for the security of your organization. And last domain of cybersecurity policy is software development security. So this software development security domain deals with enforcing software security. Which software organization using, we have to enforce security for that. Development team is there. We are enforcing security at the development time only. Security is a vital part of software development process, which engages people and practices to ensure confidentiality, reliability, and integrity of an application. So while development only, we have to think about security of your information. Security weakness of an application can be introduced by developer. So here is a developer who can introduce the error into your application. That is weakness. That weakness can be introduced by developer deliberately or unintentionally. Deliberately they will keep the loophole in the system. Because of that loophole, further they can attack on your system, or they can use that weakness afterward. If anything wrong happen with them, they can use that weakness. For that purpose only, they will keep the loophole in the system. Or unintentionally means they are not aware about that attack also or that weakness also. So this could be done by developer only, that introduction of error or weakness done by developer deliberately or unintentionally. So the controls are required for hardware and software, although they might not essentially avoid problems that begin out of poor programming. But we have to start security from here only, from the development side only. So these are the 8 modules of cybersecurity policy. Is there any doubt in this module or domain? Sequence 8, security domain, security and risk management. Here we are going to maintain the security and manage the risk. Then asset security, what are the assets of your organization? We have to provide the protection to that assets. This is the design part of your system. This domain will cover design. Mute करो. So this domain will contain architecture or engineering part of your system. How we are going to protect our organization, how we are going to protect our system. Here communication and network security, how we are going to connect with the other organization. So there is a connection means we have to provide security to that part also, network part. Identity and access management, who are authorized person, who is authorized person, only that person can access your system. That control we have to keep here. Security assessment and testing, already we have installed each and everything which is required for the organization, but we have to check whether that tool is helpful for the organization or not. We will assess that tool, we will assess the security which is provided for the organization, whether it is working properly or not. So on the basis of that, you will find some vulnerabilities, so you will try to patch that. And security operations, everything is now installed. Now you will check whether that is working properly or not. Policies are actually implementing. Users are going to access your system. Yes, they are going to access. What are the controls are mentioned in the policy document? Are that control working? For example, whenever user will enter user ID and password, he will get the OTP to his own mobile number. That is also one control. He will get the OTP. Whether he is getting that OTP or not, whether he is the authorized person or not, that access is going to handle here. Daily access process is going to handle here in this security operation. And last part is security, software development security. Means here we are going to develop our system. Means organization is going to develop the system. Development team will be there. So that development team has to think at the time of development only about the software security, because that software is going to contain sensitive data of user who is going to use that software. They are going to enter their sensitive data. So how we are going to secure that data? How we can avoid the problems which could arise when our website load will be high? That time how we can avoid that? How we can avoid the attacks which can occur on the website? So all these things developer has to think. These are the attacks on the website. So what is the control for this type of attack that has to be implemented at the time of development? So sometimes developer can introduce any error that could be deliberately or unintentionally. They don't know about uh, that attack. For example, if they are developing website, they don't know particular attack. If that particular attack occurs, then something will be lost. So every time developer has to think about security of your data, which we are going to show on the website, or what software they are developing, which data we are dealing. If our partner data is there, then we have to secure that data. So for that security, what controls we have to give for the software? Everything is mentioned under this software development security. Everything has to be implemented under the software development security. So these are the 8 domains of cyber security policy. Understood this? So here is our, this is our last point, end of this chapter. End of first chapter. There are some MCQs. I will check that whether it is available or not. Just a minute.